Santa Claus is a Republican? So I know we just came out of a very politically divisive time here in the States, and I would like to just say that this video is for entertainment purposes. I'm not trying to make a statement about any political party in particular. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about the Republican Santa Claus. Many of us are familiar with what Santa Claus looks like. A chunky jolly man with a white beard and hair, cherry red nose, red suit with white trim. Now, I know what some of you might be saying, because I've said it in several of my videos. Santa Claus is based off a real person. He was a church leader in Turkey. How can Santa Claus be Republican if he's not even an American? I am not talking about the historical figure of Santa Claus. I am talking about the icon of the season, Santa Claus. Santa Claus has been depicted a variety of ways throughout history, and his current design is a fairly modern invention. You know what's funny? It's actually a common misconception that Coca-Cola designed the modern-day Santa Claus. Although I would actually like to address the whole Coca-Cola thing, because the idea that Coca-Cola invented the modern-day design of Santa Claus is a huge myth. In fact, that image that everyone has in their head of Santa Claus predates the Coca-Cola campaign by over 50 years. We can actually thank Thomas Nast, famed American political cartoonist, for the modern design for Santa Claus. He was a very well-respected political cartoonist and is actually the reason why the Democrats use the donkey as their symbol. Now, around the same time that Nast was drawing his political cartoons, a poem came out that we all are familiar with. "'Twas a night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse." Yeah, that one. Inspired by the poem, Nast drew a depiction of Santa Claus as he saw him. Take a look at this picture. That is the most Santa Claus I have ever seen. Big round belly, cherry red nose, white beard, and a bunch of toys. The Smithsonian Institute credits this image for the popularization of what Santa Claus still looks like to this day. And this image is why Santa Claus is a Republican. Thomas Nast was drawing his cartoons immediately following the Civil War, and Nast aligned with the Union. He was also a staunch abolitionist, which meant, for that time, he was gonna be a Republican. The Republicans were the abolitionist party. They were the party of Lincoln. Funny enough, St. Nicholas, the man that Santa Claus is based off of, also had a history of being against slavery, but that's a subject for another video. You see, this image wasn't just a picture of Santa Claus. It was a commentary on how the government was mistreating its veterans. Nast often drew cartoons depicting his displeasure with both parties. He would express his frustration over Democrats' wasteful spending and stiffing of the military and veterans, while depicting his fellow Republicans as too passive on these issues. Remember, we had just come out of the Civil War, one of the bloodiest wars we have ever fought. Brother against brother, friend against friend. So many men died in that war, protecting the freedom of all Americans. Now the government had turned its back on them. So this image of Santa Claus is meant to represent an idyllic Republican who is generous with those who protect our freedoms. So yes, the modern day Santa Claus is a pipe-smoking, toy-making, abolitionist, pro-veteran, Lincoln-era Republican. And that is just crazy to me. Now, again, I'm just breaking down some weird, fun history here. I'm not trying to make a political statement, and please, don't do that in the comments. This series has been so much fun to make. I have been enjoying talking about the wild and wacky Santa Claus lore that is out there, and I can't wait to bring more of this series to your eyeballs and ear holes.